We're going to put this out on Brut to help young and budding content creators understand the process of content creation. And because we have the poster boy of the Bollywood creator crossovers, Mr. Karan Boolani, we're also going to talk...
I'm here to figure out how to get more followers. That's it.
I think all of us are in the same boat. But we'll also understand the induction of creators into Bollywood that we've seen lately. And we have Dolly and Niharika getting into different categories, trying out new things. So the panel is going to be all about that, and we'll open it for questions as we move on. I'm sure we've all spoken about process so many times. I'm going to start with Yashraj. What do you think how the panel is looking?
I'm the most underdressed here.
I think it's looking like a wow.
It's looking like, oh shit. Oops.
Yeah.
I expected
Yashraj to say that. Maybe we didn't prepare.
This is the first time. Now see it again.
Yeah, see it again.
We'll cut and we'll take it again. So how's the panel looking, Yashraj?
It's so beautiful, so elegant. It's just looking like a wow.
All the content creators in the country, not only people who are sitting on the panel, I think they have created a parallel economy, you know. Also, at the same time, मेरे को ना मेरी टीम में एक दो लोगों ने बोला, are you sure you want to be a part of this panel? मैंने कहा, I'm 200% sure I want to be a part of this panel because A, I want to kind of listen to what they're saying. B, yeah, as an actor, it has become a part of, you know, it's a KRA for you to do this. And not only for somebody in my space, मुझे ऐसा लगता है काफ़ी बार like one of the digital agencies were telling me who also handle another a very big A-lister actor, they were showing their content to them कि सर ऐसे बनाना है content आपने. So you know, I mean, this is the kind of power and respect these people have earned. Who have, I mean, it's beautiful to see you know, this parallel economy grow, and there's a lot of give and take from actors to content creators to actors, and they all also cross paths while जब फिल्में बनती हैं. Like, thank you for coming.
On that note, I in fact I think you've already spilled the tea. So actors are looking at creators to understand how to get more followers on social media.
Not more followers, but definitely make more relevant content. Okay. That's what I mean. That's how I look at it.
So Karan, on that follower,
I'm still here for followers.
So have you cracked the code since you spent a lot of time with creators?
You know, the word creators is... I find my dad also a creator. I mean, he cracks jokes on the table and he comes up with very interesting stories. So it isn't... I'm not a big fan of people being put into a certain category. I think if you're a storyteller, I mean, if you... some of the best auditions that I've had are ones where it's not about the scene. It's not about the script. It's about somebody just sitting across from me and tell me how their day was. Or telling me what their experience with the rickshaw wala was right now. So I think if you are able to tell a story through a character, through a scene, through music, you know, through a performance, you kind of find a way to connect with somebody. And I think that's exactly what you look for, or that's what actually I'm looking for.
I agree with you on that. I think that term is evolving as we speak. You, in a way, started the trends of bringing characters to life. How important it is for a creator to be topical, to get, okay, this is the trend, let me catch hold of the trend.
I think it becomes important only because of the numbers. It genuinely does. If you want to catch on those numbers because it's trending, you have to kind of participate. And a lot of times that train gets lost. You know, we are busy, we are doing something else. वो एक trend आके चला जाता है. And we are like, oh God, you know, I missed that chance. I missed that moment. That day also, I made a video on this wow thing only. Gave it my own spin. And within that day, I saw like 3-4 videos come up. And everybody was like, did you copy each other? And I was like, no, guys. It's just because it's everywhere. And that's why everybody is going to do it. So I think that relevance is there in terms of, I think, business. Yeah. It also gives you a chance to show your craft and how you would take it. Like he has given it his own, you know, twist, and he's made a whole song about it, which is trending. So I think you do get a chance to kind of show your talent, do all of that. But more than anything else, it does become a little bit of a, oh my God, this train is going to leave the platform. I need to jump on this right now. So in that sense, it's more about the business rather than your own, you know, it's it's less of a creative choice that you would take, more of a, oh God, I need to do it before anybody else does.
Got it. Niharika, what about you? Your characters that you create, firstly, congratulations of bagging such a fantastic role. Cheers to that. You're going to be on Big Mouth season 7. How does
As a
it feel?
cartoon, it's a cartoon
And
show.
you're voicing it.
I'm just voicing it. Yeah.
So that's almost like an absolutely new avatar. So creators are constantly, like doing new things, right?
I think as far as the topicality thing is concerned, everybody is doing trends, but you only notice the people who create those trends first, like Yashraj himself. And I think when I started out creating content, I didn't really have the scope of using these trends because I wasn't a dance creator or an entertainment creator who could use music, the sound of my voice, even though it sounds like sandpaper sometimes, is what gets me the views. So I yell and scream and cry and do whatever on camera, I guess. But I've noticed that it is a thing where the trending audio gets picked up and you might see more views, but getting views on one video is not a big deal. Getting consistent views overall is what will help you make it a career or make it stable. So I think for me, I just choose not to always participate in every trend, because also I believe the traction you get from those kind of videos are not the kind of audience the rest of your content is probably, meant for. Yeah, and they won't necessarily follow you. So one video you will get nice views, but after that, what? Then you'll just be sad. So do trends to have fun, but I guess you need to have your own voice and you need to have your own thing, and you need to be a trend. People should know you for your thing also, not just doing trends.
But what you said is right. Yashraj has built a following based on understanding and catching hold of trends. Are you always anxious that ये miss ना हो जाए, ये चला ना जाए, ये कोई और ना ले ले?
कभी-कभी होता है, क्योंकि I think last time जब हुआ I missed it out because Elvis भाई के आगे कोई बोल सकता है क्या? I was supposed to do a thing on that, but before I could manage to make the track and make a good track, it was out.
It's there in your folder, right? It's there in your folder.
It is there. I have completed the track, but I did not put it out because it was gone by then, and तब तक ये आ गया था. So I saw 2-3 videos about this, and people started recommending it to me in the DM. And so literally I started making it in the morning, रात में डाल दिया. So मुझे पता था अगर ये एक दिन भी miss हो जाए, अगर अगले दिन भी चला जाए, so I would miss out on the trending thing.
That's a very interesting thread. Filmmaking is a long, tedious process. You have the luxury of time, and here you have constantly creating content every day. But you've been on both sides. I see you create a lot of content with creators.
And I also I collaborate a lot. I've already done it twice with Dolly. Yashraj के साथ तो मैं already एक chat show भी कर चुका हूँ अलग से. And I told them I want Yashraj to be a part of it, and then they contacted him. And also he had done a brand campaign, and the brand called me, listen, we have a really cool jingle made by Yashraj only for us. Would you want to collaborate with him? And you also sing. I was like, listen, I'm a fan of him, okay? And then we spoke after that, and it was beautiful to collaborate. And also we're talking about the current, trend. So beautiful, looking like a wow. A couple of days back, me and Aitira Hayatri had gone for an award show where we were getting awarded for Jubilee. She was wearing something black. The moment she came on the stage, I had to say that line, and the entire audience cracked up. And I think he really makes that trend kind of so in the face, topical, that you can't miss it. You can't miss it.
I mean, that's why all of your pop culture icons, you define culture. Everything that's get created becomes a part of the Gen Z lingo. So you've acted in films, and you've also created content. We're going to talk a little bit about the process, how drastically different it is. Because, like he said that he made something and then he didn't release it.
See, I mean, kudos to him कि बहुत दिल टूटेगा, otherwise किसी का तो कि मैं पूरा काम करके बैठा था, गाना बना के बैठा था, कल डालना था, आज वो फट चुका है पूरा. So I mean, I'm sure it's very heartbreaking that way. Having said that, यार देखो, it is at the end of the day, you just need to bring out your creative juices. किसी के किसी तरीके से आते हैं, किसी के किसी तरीके से आते हैं. And not only between content creation and acting, in acting also, उसमें एक sub layers हो जाते हैं. For example, when I was doing theatre in Delhi, I was only offered back-to-back dark, intense roles. I told my director कि सर मेरे को थोड़ी बहुत कॉमेडी आती है. हाँ नहीं मतलब तो मैंने कहा सर मेरे को कॉमेडी करने का मन करता है. लाइक यार अपार तेरी आंखें ना एक ना घिनौनापन है तेरी आंखों में. So I want to use that. मैंने कहा okay thank you sir. And cut to my film career started with Dangal, Stree, Pati Patni और वो लुक्का छुपी back-to-back comedy films and nobody was counting me in for a Jubilee or a Dhoka or a Berlin or something. तो वो एक बहुत ही अपने आप जो चीज़ क्रैक हो जाती है वो हो जाती है क्रैक. So I think दोनों तरफ creative juices involved हैं. किसी की स्टोरी टेलिंग इस म्यूजिकलिटी से आती है, किसी की कैरेक्टर्स करके आती है, इवन निहारिका की कैरेक्टर्स करके आती है, सर की अलग स्टोरी टेलिंग से आती है. वो क्रिएटिव जूसेस जिस तरीके से बाहर निकल जाए टू ईच इट्स ओन.
Got it. Maybe we'll ask this question to Dolly because how different is the process to do a sketch at home in your pajamas versus being on the set with 10 people around you and a lot of cameras?
It's not 10 people, let me tell you. It's so many
She's
more.
that big film.
Yeah. I mean, even when I remember when I did my first show and I went on set for the first time, and that day I was not supposed to say anything. So I was like, okay, today I'll just take a look around and take it all in and understand. But man, I froze so much because my director was like, you just have to come in and I know you have no dialogue, but just say yuck in your character. I couldn't say yuck. I couldn't say it, and the whole cast.
I see Karan nodding his head and saying, "Yeah, she couldn't."
Everybody was waiting for my cue to begin, and that pressure was intense. So, of course, there's a big difference shooting it at home with your tripod and camera and just being, in those safe walls. But to do it with so many people who are just as much a part of it, and it's a collaborative effort. I think as creators, we also forget what team effort looks like, because we are so used to doing things on our own, especially me. I'm talking about me, I don't have a team. So I'm just talking about myself. So my process in general is just about writing a script, shooting. I mostly edit myself. So, it is a very one-person process. But when you go on a set, it's a different thing. And initially, of course, I was flabbergasted and I was like, oh God, this is so uncomfortable. But now I just feel like I love it because, when a team brings it all together, where there's so many people trying to make that one beautiful product, the energy is something else.
And is it the same going back home and doing your sketches, or does it feel different?
It does feel different. It does feel different, but it's not in a bad way different. I think, in fact, I've learned so many new things which I now apply to my content. And the fact that I want a team now because I know that everybody will be working on it together and we can do something. So all of that, I think you learn a lot more on a set because it's just bigger in general.
Absolutely.
But very different, very different.
I'll go to Karan because you casted 3 content creators. I think this was a collab waiting to happen. I think all of us were rooting for a film that will have content creators dominate the landscape. How different was it for you to work with a seasoned movie actress versus content creators? How different was their process, or they had to unlearn stuff to be able to deliver?
I think the process of casting and auditioning them had already revealed that they were the right people. The script, when you write a script, it sings. It should sing at some point, and through the process of casting, you're just trying to find, oh, that's the trumpet, that's good for the drums, that's good for the flute. So you're just listening and you're just trying to feel what part of because we did an ensemble film, we had a lot of characters, and we found Dolly, we found Shibani, they were there, they found us actually. But they found we found our character in them, and then we worked a lot together. So when we were on set, I think they were teaching us what the scene should be.
Oh,
so
a lot of improvisation.
No, a lot of, not so much improvisation, as long as you let Dolly sing, let's go of Dolly Singh and becomes the character, I think then the job is done, So they were like directing I had 3, as you would say, content creators. I had my post-production supervisor playing a very important part, who plays the role of Karan in the film, Gautamik. I had a writer, one of my writers who hasn't acted in 10 years, come and play a part.
Amazing. Yeah.
Pradyuman. And then I had Anil Kapoor as well, and Bhumi, and there were a lot of other accomplished actors there. So I kind of make it more difficult for myself every time, and but I enjoy it. I think you bring a lot of their experiences to the role, you bring a lot of their experiences to the scenes, and that's, I think, so what you look for.
So
Can I add something to that?
Absolutely.
I just want to add this because, you know, as of course we have just started doing this, so we will be new and won't get most things how to do. But even though he selected us through auditions and everything, he made sure he worked on us for those characters. Like there were workshops happening for like 20 days so that we take it all in. So it's not easy to, you know, he's so particular about what he wants. So he made sure he takes it out of us. So that was definitely there.
So, you know, like for a lot of content creators who are now moving to Mumbai, they're taking acting courses. Maybe Apar, you would help us understand how does one get land a role in Bollywood?
मैं ना इस मामले में थोड़ा सा off stance हूँ, because when I was doing radio and acting wasn't happening, I never wanted to shift to Bombay. I just wanted to try my hand in acting sitting in Delhi. For Dangal, I was casted in Delhi. For Sathu Chakke, which had Manoj Bajpayee, Anupam Kher, Anu Kapoor, K.K. Menon, Vijay Raj, I was casted in Delhi. I was doing a play in Delhi where one of the assistants of the casting director was watching the play, and he, you know, took my number from the director, and that's how I got casted. So, having said that, I come from an upbringing of making peace in the head कि maybe in these 4 years I'm cut out to do radio. It is just about bringing out those creative juices in you. वो satisfy हो रहे हैं तो उसके बाद सब सही है. I mean, I spoke to my father that should I shift to Mumbai or should I stick around? He was like, are you enjoying yourself in Delhi? I was like, I'm having my best time in Delhi. Delhi has accepted me. Coming from a small town like Chandigarh, at that time it was a small town when I was growing up. So, मैंने extra effort नहीं किया मुंबई आने के लिए because Delhi had given me a lot of love, a lot of respect. My first salary came from Delhi. You know, my first girlfriend came from Delhi. So all the things came from Delhi. I thought I have a good life here. So अगर नहीं हो रही है acting, तो it's fine. But having said that, वो shift हमेशा all the radio jockeys also want to become actors. Okay. तो उनके लिए भी वो shift मुश्किल है. Okay. वो बड़ा situational है actually यार कि वो होना है कि नहीं होना है. It's very very situational and I don't take it too hard. So I'm not the right person to guide on or comment on that ये shift कैसे होगा.
So the reason why we are discussing this, I think this has been a very important year. A lot of content creators, Dolly and Niharika, were at the Cannes red carpet. And there are a lot of movies where content creators are seen and people are accepting it. Niharika, I want to ask you about this transition. Do you think it is natural, or how's your audience reacting? When you were at the red carpet, it made headlines. Dolly, when you were at the red carpet, it made headlines. How did your audience react to this whole transition of creators going, you know, like...
By the way, you guys look really pretty on the red carpet.
Thank you, Apar. You too. You're just pretty in life, man. I think, dude, honestly, my audience, they're just, I don't think they understand like these small nuances of making these transitions. They just think, oh, you're on a red carpet dressed well. Oh, we're so happy for you. We're rooting for you. You know, I don't think they're really thinking about she's making a transition now. She's moving into whatever. I think it's a very industry thing is what I've come to realize, because I would also psych myself out in a way when I'm like, I have to do things like this. And then in retrospect, I was like, who did I think I was? Like, I need to just calm down to my thing. And the audience, I could do everything and anything. At the end of the day, they just want to see me crack a joke. So I could dress up, be pretty, whatever. They're like, so pretty. So what's the punchline in the end of the video, right? So even when I do these beauty, brand, aesthetic, whatever, in the end, if there's no punch, I'm telling you, they'll watch the whole video because they think there's a punch in the end. Yeah. So now I have to put it there. Sometimes I do an Uno reverse and I'm like, psych, you thought, like I made you watch it. I just got to get the bag, man. Sometimes I'm just stressed, okay? I don't have a joke about a mascara like 4 times. Like I just can't. But sometimes, sometimes I just let them, you know, down like that. But otherwise I'll make it up. Next day, one video that I've been holding on to that I know will do really well, I'll like throw it in there and I'll be like, see, I made up for like cashing in a check yesterday.
So you have to stay true to your audience. Can we say that you don't experiment a lot with your social media audience because you have a certain followers who come to you for a certain kind of content?
I guess, but I think I am trying to experiment, but in a way where they don't feel abandoned suddenly and they don't feel betrayed, because all these years they've been supporting creators for a certain type of content that they make. If tomorrow I decide to start making fashion content, they'll be like, bro, what the hell? Like, just wear a sweatshirt, crack, like yell into your camera, call it a day. You know what I mean? I think the transition should be smooth, which is why I like the jokes in the beauty content. So they kind of are incentivized to watch that video as well, you know, because give them something that they're waiting for. Also, in the grand scheme of things, how many videos do you watch of like actors just being pretty? Like at the end of the day, you don't care sometimes. You're like, okay, now what? Yeah. Right? Like it's really nice to watch on a particular day, but if you're not adding any value to their life and you're a creator, you just can't be looking pretty. Like actors are there for that and to act, I guess. But you know, no. Oh, I didn't mean you, but you too. Transition. If you take away just being aspirational, and you're also relatable, that's why the transition can be seamless. If you're someone who's a girl next door and they've related to you all their lives and they're seeing you make the transition to films or like, you know, anything else, they will be rooting for you. But don't just be like, now that I'm doing this, bye, you know. Give them the best of both worlds, I guess.
Got it.
Like Hannah Montana.
At least when I set out to make a film, I have one big obstacle in front of me, which is the word yes. Somebody else has to say that word for me to make a film. I need a financer, sometimes an actor, sometimes I don't know, an actress, to say yes. I think with everybody on this over here on my right, they don't need a yes. They can just do it. Yeah, it has to catch a particular moment in time.
Absolutely.
You know, it has to create a wonderful character. It has to have a great collaboration or maybe even an expression. But you really don't need anybody else's support, you know. So that is, I think, the start of being a creator or being a storyteller, is that you aren't waiting for the approval or you aren't waiting for somebody else to give you the access to do this. And I think it starts there. Like when I did short films, we didn't need anybody. We just need to borrow cameras from people. We would beg our friends to act, family to act in it, and they would play along and we had something, you know. So I think the more you have people not waiting for that other person to come and help them or aid them in telling their story, I think you'll find a lot of talent, you know, because you're expressing yourself and you're finding a way to connect. All of them are connected with so many people. And I think as a storyteller, you're also looking for, okay, this person can tell their own story, you know, and how does that help me or help the larger story that we are trying to tell here. So of course, yeah, definitely. I think I meet a lot of young kids who have come from different parts of India, and they meet me at a festival, or they meet me at I get an email from them saying, you know, these are my pictures, these are my videos, what do I do? What do I do? It's so hard, what do I do? And it's the same thing that I've been hearing like since I started, which was earlier they used to have photographs, you know, and we used to get photographs, then there used to be reels, then there used to be, you got to see my work. And now I think you have the opportunity to just say your story, you know, and somebody has to come to you, versus the other way where you have to keep waiting in line or going to a production house or trying to find a casting director. I think if he's making his music, you know, there's somebody just has to hear it. He doesn't have to take his you know, his CDs or whatever and go and say, please take some time out and listen to it. So I think the energy has reversed. It is storytellers that are looking now or for creators, you know.
So, that's a very good point. I think social media has democratized success. Anyone can be successful, and it's also not a very cost-intensive project. You need to have a phone and you're ready to roll. But I want to understand, because there are a lot of people who don't know where to start from. What are the equipments that you need? It's a very simple question. Like, apart from a phone, what else did you invest in, and at what point? I'll start with Dolly.
I actually feel like I used to invest more initially. Like I would be on Premiere Pro editing, and I would have lights and this and that. I feel like the more the better the qualities of phones have become, and I think the impromptu things that you end up doing, I pretty much do everything on my phone these days, even writing, which honestly is a bad habit because I should be using a laptop, but it's just become so easy with the phone. So I'll be honest, I think more or less a phone is right now at the beginning level enough for you to start. You don't have to invest in anything else. If you have a good phone, I think
that's enough. And a mic, maybe, if you're recording something.
Mic for sure.
Mic.
Because
Mic for sure.
what happens
Sound
is
guy
that what
says.
creators tend to
For
do
him, for sure.
Yeah, but even
50% visual and sound. So.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
suddenly, Mike
Yeah.
for sure. He suddenly went like that.
Yeah, because creators make really good content and they don't focus on the sound, and it's bad.
Yeah.
So what happens is when you're scrolling through the reels, एक अच्छा आ गया, दूसरा अच्छा आ गया, and third is a good content, well written, well performed, and the sound is not great. So you're already out of this thing.
Can I, by any chance, ask one question to all three of them?
Absolutely.
See, I mean, actors, production houses, makers require, them sometimes to collaborate to promote a film. Okay?
Yeah.
Do they think any need at all from actors side कि हमें चाहिए ये लोग कि नहीं? See, you know what? I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I've seen enough now, a number of collaborations happening majorly on the film releases. Always. Kudos to Karan that he really kind of picked them up कि आप film में ही आओ ना यार, बाद में क्यों collaborate करना है? Thank you, sir. So, I mean, I want to ask them कि इनको भी चाहिए कि नहीं? Because I even sitting here today, it is a film festival. Okay?
Absolutely.
It's a film festival. My film Berlin was there day before yesterday. It's here today. So, I mean,
Congratulations.
Thank you. No, I mean, it wasn't for that. But I'm saying, for me, my association with Mami is that my film is being played. But even you guys have a panel with all the creators. So, I mean, there's a huge collaboration, but आपको ज़रूरत पड़ती है कि आपको लगता है?
That's a good question, yeah. Niharika, we start with you.
निहारिका तो बहुत blunt है, सीधा ले लेगी ये तो.
I don't know about. See, my Hindi is a little weak. Okay, so I'm just if I'm answering this wrong, let's just blame it on my Hindi being weak. I don't know about zarurat, but I think it's. No, I'm saying I don't know if it's about zarurat.
What is
Oh, I
Zarurat?
know
Very
what
important.
zarurat is. I'm saying.
Oops, sorry.
Ab sikha do baad mein. You saw how I responded in Hindi. Bro, pat my back quickly. I was joking. Okay, anyway. I forgot the question.
Yeah, the question.
He directly asked how much
Do you care if
Zarurat
like
hai.
fuck about us?
Oh my God, yeah, it depends on who it is actually, but I have collaborated with some of my heroes, like childhood heroes. I got to work with Mahesh Babu, who I was a fan of when I was 5 years old, and I was in front of the TV and I said, this is the man I want to marry. Don't say anything. I get the age difference, okay? We all have like dreams. Anyway, yeah, and I got to work with him, and that's not even a vision board thing. Like, I remember putting him on my vision board and I was like, yeah, you're pushing it, like, take it off. Like, you know what I mean? Because it just seemed impossible. And be it like a Yash, for KGF, and he gave me an exclusive video, and that added so much value to who I was as a person. And it made me feel in myself, like, at least, I felt so much more like I was good enough, I guess. So it was self-affirming and reaffirming. And I think I make it a point to just collaborate with the actors that I'm really excited about. And I like, not that all actors aren't actors, but like, I just want to work with who I'm excited about, because I'm giving you a role in my film. No, so.
That's a good one. So let's ruffle some feathers here and ask, have you also said no to some collabs?
Many.
Okay.
Many.
What about
But the
you,
thing
Dolly?
is that all those videos which she did were all good videos also. So even if the actor was not there, they were well written, well performed videos. That is why people engage. It's not just the actor or just
Always, yeah.
So it's
What about you, Dolly? Have you said no
I
to
have
collabs?
actually. In like these days, I've started saying no because when we started doing these things, we used to have so much fun. The actors used to have so much fun because we would write a script, we would get like half an hour, 40 minutes, 1 hour to perform. They would also love it. So it was a more collaborative effort. Nowadays, I feel like, and that's not to be blamed on anybody, but how we are consuming the internet, is that everybody wants to do those 10-second hook step, this,
Yeah.
that, done, khatam. So that I anyway can't dance, okay? I think Karan knows it. So I was like, ये तो मैं hook step तो नहीं कर सकती. So anytime I feel like Niharika said, someone I'm excited to work with, someone who I've never worked with, or is someone really big, as an actor, or as the movie, the project as a whole, I think in that sense it works for me. But otherwise, if it's gonna be just one of those, 100 videos that they do, now I've started to say no for that.
Would you tell me like your favorite collab and why it worked for you on your page?
Oh God, there's so many, and sometimes I forget also. But right now, what instantly came to my mind was my collaboration with Nawazuddin sir and Pankaj Tripathi sir, which was amazing because they left the script and they improv the whole thing, and it was like 1 hour of us just rambling, and I was in my Raju Ki Mummy character, so I was also just being unhinged. That was really fun.
So, Appa, my question is to you. Why do you think they're constantly going to creators to promote? I mean, there was a time when everybody would come to radio, then they would always be on those big dance reality shows. And now everyone is on social media. I just want to get some understanding on it, that does it work better for the films? As an insider, what would you say?
See, there is a huge paradigm shift, in the entire way of we consume internet and social media. And they have made it more relevant, and at the same time, गाना भी तभी हिट होता है अगर रील पे हिट हो रहा है. तो ये सब कुछ ही उसी हिसाब से चल रहा है कि इंस्टाग्राम कैसे चल रहा है. So, आज की डेट में हर कोई रेसिपीज़ भी इंस्टाग्राम पे देख रहा है, यूट्यूब पे नहीं देख रहा है और कहीं नहीं चेक कर रहा है. सब कुछ फैशन इंस्टाग्राम पे चेक हो रहा है, सब कुछ वहीं पे हो रहा है. तो इट बिकम्स वन स्टॉप शॉप फॉर एवरीबॉडी टू गेट टुगेदर एंड जैम. सो हेंस दैट्स आई थिंक द ओनली रीज़न. एंड देयर इज नथिंग राइट और रॉन्ग अबाउट इट. एंड ऑल्सो जो जंप की बात हो रही थी अबाउट फ्रॉम एक्टिंग टू कंटेंट क्रिएशन टू एक्टिंग, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि अगर जस्ट इन केस कोई नहीं जगल कर पा रहा है, हमसे कंटेंट क्रिएट नहीं हो रहा है, किसी से एक्ट नहीं हो रहा है, सिंपल बात है. इसमें मुश्किल नहीं है कुछ.
So, can I add to that? Yeah, I just feel like you said, it's all interdependent, but also I feel like if you overdo the promotions on social media, where sometimes I see like big actors sometimes doing it with every other content creator, right? At that point, like, the actor loses a little value. And I feel like the marketing team should understand that. You can't put them everywhere. You need to be selective, and you need to know what audience, like where, if it's like a massy audience, you go to like those kind of, you need to be smart about it, because sometimes I see really big actors being they look like they're being held hostage in those reels, you know what I mean? They look so upset and sad. So I just feel like you need to devise this in a better way, because at the end of the day, they're still actors, I feel like sometimes they're just really forced to do it. I think you should ask them if they want to do it in the first place, and then get them to do it.
As I was saying that I want to come here and learn a thing or two that what's happening. This is a great point to take home. That I need to tell my producer, listen, itna hi karte hain. For example, So yeah, he's right. She's right.
So overdoing is the audience doesn't enjoy it.
Yeah, nobody likes too much of anything, right? There's value in scarcity. So I think just need to give them like bite size, like you need to breadcrumb them. You can't just be like, take the whole loaf. You know what I mean? Like, come to the movie and watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I think little.
Got it. I'll go back to the previous point, because you made a very good point about Instagram influencing music. And so in a way, platforms are dictating content creation. Yashraj, how has Reels influenced music creation on socials? Or they are the boss?
No, it happens because see, इसका ना मैंने बहुत elaborate एक आंसर बहुत सोच के रखा कि हर बार पूछा जाता है मुझे, मैं वो बताता हूँ. तो क्या है ना कि
बाकी सब माइक रख दो.
हाँ.
तो फिर ये under 45 सेकंड का आंसर होना चाहिए.
हाँ, तो मैं बोलता हूँ.
Thank you.
तो बेसिकली क्या है कि हुक जो होता है कोई भी गाने का, which is the मुखड़ा, which is the face. निहारिका ने मैं सुन चुका है शायद आंसर. So the thing is कि अपने को मुखड़ा सुनने की आदत है. That is how we have consumed music over these years in Hindi music. तो अपने को मुखड़ा सुनने की आदत है और उसके अराउंड गाना बनता है पूरा. अब ओवर ईयर्स लोगों ने फिगर आउट किया कि यार मुखड़ा पसंद आ रहा है तो फिर मुखड़ा ही बनाओ ना सिर्फ. अगर उतना ही तो जो चल रहा है फिर उतना ही बनाओ, फिर पूरा गाना बनाना ही क्यों है. तो उन्होंने फिगर आउट किया कि 15-20 सेकंड में मुखड़ा बन जाता है तो उतना डाल के डाल दो. तो एंड इट इज़ वर्किंग. आई डोंट फाइंड एनीथिंग रॉन्ग इन दैट. तो उतना ही बनता है और उतना ही चलता है और मुझे सही लगता है वो. अब अगर इससे अगर छोटा हो जाए, अगर 5 सेकंड का चलने लग जाए अगर कभी, तो वो भी सही है. एज फार एज तुमको उतना डोपामीन हाई मिल रहा है 5 सेकंड में फटाक से स्किप करके, तो इट्स फाइन.
So it's easier also for you as a content creator.
Actually, it's not easy to make an impactful music piece and in this short duration. कि 30 सेकंड में उसको हुक भी कराना है और वो बार बार उसके दिमाग में चलता भी रहे. बट हाँ, ड्यूरेशन वाइज, अगर प्रोडक्शन वाइज इफ़ यू सी कि अगर मुझे एक 6 मिनट का गाना बनाना है, आई हैव टू हैव उसमें इतने वेरिएशंस होने चाहिए, उसमें मुझे उतना एंगेज 6 मिनट तक किसी को करके रखना है, तो उसमें मेहनत लगेगी.
So I mean कुछ ऐसी चीज़ आपको वो एक वन लाइनर तो निकालनी पड़ेगी, वही सबसे ज़्यादा मुश्किल.
That is what they started doing in Hindi, like the industry music also. I thought that बाकी सब ठीक बस चल रहा है was a great example of that. Because I loved that song. It's a good song.
Yeah.
And very simple. बाकी सब ठीक बस चल रहा है. That's the hook.
Yeah.
And that is the song.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
So do you have like a close circle who tells you कि ये viral होगा, you pick it up? Like Lappusa Sachin was, I think everyone felt कि इतना late क्यों आया यशराज का ये गाना, you know, like it took time. So do you have like all of you like have a close circle who tells you that you listen? So who's that circle for you, Yashraj?
So the close circle is mostly in the DMs. कि अगर बहुत लोग recommend करें तो पता चल जाता है कि यार ये बहुत interesting है, कि बहुत लोगों से आ गया. Lappusa Sachin I was not going to make because मेरे को उसमें rhythm नहीं मिल रहा था. But because many people recommended तो मैं थोड़ा खेल के देखा तो हो गया वो. And but this one, the wow one, तो I was pretty sure because she said it in a way कि उसमें था ही, she gave it.
So you also, Dolly, look at DMs to understand what you're like always?
Yeah, I think people are very vocal on what they want. So comments में, DMs में खुद ही आके वो खुद भी suggestions देते रहते हैं कि इस पे कुछ बना दो, इस पे कुछ कर दो, इसका part 2 कर दो. All of that keeps happening.
और कुछ नहीं पसंद आता है तो वो भी बहुत vocally बोलते हैं.
काफ़ी अच्छी तरह बोल देते हैं.
Yeah, that's like we'll actually get into the length and breadth of it, of feedback on social media. So Karan, like if I'm watching something, I want to review it, I want to like comment on it. Do we think we'll ever get to a point where PVR seats will have a button to comment on a movie or to like it as you watch it real time? Because that's pretty much a part of watching content on you know, like you immediately have a point of view and you want to share it.
You know, yesterday, sorry Karan, but I was watching a movie and instantly, and this has happened a few times lately, I would watch a movie and I would want to read comments and I was like, oh, this is a movie.
Absolutely.
I can't read, because sometimes the comments are also great, by the way. Okay, you want to read. It's amazing. You want to read comments
Always.
on certain things.
Always.
So I was just like, okay, well, and I was like, oh, this is Netflix.
Yeah, I think, you know, like we take about 4 or 5 years to make a film. Sometimes more. And somebody just says, बेकार था, मज़ा नहीं आया, तो हो गया. But क्या होता है ना, with a film, after 2 years, it has another life. It goes on TV or somebody watches it on a platform. And then it comes back after another 8 years. So when I was talking to my father-in-law, who's a very big actor, and he said, yeah, you know, when I meet young creators today, they don't come and tell me ki yaar, you know, Gharwali, Baharwali, this one, that film, all those films that he did, which were super hits at that time. They say Parinda. They say Virasat. That time they weren't given, they were dismissed, these films. They were sidelined completely. But he said what happens is that people grow up with films. They keep watching them, they keep going back to them. So the instant reaction to it, the critique behind it is what I think is running the internet. You know, like there's a lot of clickbait around it. You can see some of the headlines. What has happened recently is that I have noticed that film critics are running businesses based on their knowledge of what they've seen in the film. But they are more excited of getting more likes for them than getting anything with the film. If the film didn't exist, they don't exist, you know. So it's like an ancillary to a film. So when we go to festivals in the West and you have press screenings over there, 150 press from different come show up, they're anonymous, you don't know. And they have a principle. They say if they don't like something, they don't mention it. They don't critique it. They don't review it. They don't write it. If they write, they review it. If they like it, they review it. That's the philosophy with which they go on. But that doesn't give you a lot of traction.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that doesn't give you any
Yeah.
information. So it's a new, I can see a lot of people going towards stuff that's happening in Gaza, you know, although they don't have any connection to it. But there's a certain attraction towards it. So I think that's something that a generation that we're living in, you know. So even comments, I mean, I get the kind of comments that I get and stuff for the films I make especially are very exciting.
Yeah, so because making a point of view I mean, it's very intrinsic to this audience, to this generation. They want to have a point of view. How many of you here feel that OTT will have a comment box? What Dolly said, it's gonna have.
For sure.
Yeah.
You know, the need is, the urge is already there.
Yeah.
Netflix has already started the like thing, no? If you like this, love this, whatever.
Yeah.
That they're tracing what you like so they can feed you more of that. They don't
It's
care
not what
if
public has
So
liked.
that's
okay.
a different animal. That's called algorithm. We'll get to that.
But you're talking about the comment section, because these three sitting here know the Instagram in and inside out. I just want to really understand, because you know sometimes it can be really scarring for an artist to read those comments. And touch wood, I mean, I started my journey with 5-minute का part, and wherever a debate on nepotism is happening, मेरा नाम वहाँ touch wood आता नहीं है इस वजह से. But जहाँ पे हनी जिन लोगों को आता है यार, उनके लिए वो comment section पता है, it's a total recipe for disaster.
So are you saying that name never comes?
नहीं touch wood नहीं आता है.
How did you manage to do that?
Because not taking a star brother launch and doing a 5-minute part in Saath Chakke, and then 5-minute part in Badrinath Tuldania, and then 20-minute part in Dangal, and yeah.
But Apar, were you ever worried कि
Of course I was.
People think
Of course I was. See, you need to be mentally prepared. कि listen, इस चीज़ को 1 साल नहीं लगाना है, इस चीज़ को 8 साल लगाना है. That's it. You need to just mentally align yourself, and with every situation, you need to mentally align yourself कि यार ये ना इस तरीके से होना है. I mean, it's to a basic, simple thing, like if at home I'm asking my domestic helper, I need a peanut butter toast, and वो ले आए अंदर से normal butter toast, वो मुझे बता दे कि peanut butter भैया खत्म हो चुका है, मैं normal butter लगा के ला रहा हूँ. सिर्फ mentally align होना है जब तक वो 3 मिनट में toast आ रहा है. सिर्फ mentally align होना है, and you have fun with that butter toast as well. किसी भी चीज़ को ले लो. Every situation I kind of normally pin it this way, that mentally align हो जाओ, बाकी सब ठीक है.
I mean, I have this question. It's not really a part of what the panel is all about. What are the perils of having a successful person in the family?
Oh, it's amazing. Especially if it's somebody like, Aishwarya, because he has his reality checks in place. B, he doesn't behave like a star in the house. C, there is a very, very straight, real conversation about the creative, upbringing, about the films, about the script, about films he's doing, about the films I'm doing, about the songs he's doing, about the songs I'm doing. There's a very straight conversation. Koi faltu, I mean, no, not only between me and him, most of the people we have around us are also very, very real. आपने भी एक सवाल पूछा था यश से कि कोई bouncing board है, कोई है कि नहीं? We both have, our individual 5 लोगों का कोई WhatsApp group होगा जहाँ पे, like मेरे तो 2 लोग मेरे रेडियो डेज के, 2 लोग मेरे थिएटर डेज के. आई हैव अ व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप. आई सेंड ऑल माय स्क्रिप्ट्स देयर. वी फिनिश रीडिंग. अगर आज रात को पढ़ेंगे, अगले दिन सुबह वील हैव अ प्रॉपर pointers of the rights and the wrongs of the script. And so yeah, I mean, and they're all very real people who don't care about, if Apar has now done a jubilee or is doing well for himself. They don't care. They all my 15 साल पुराने दोस्त हैं जो नए भी add हो रहे हैं. They all are very organic people. So I have an amazing touchwood bouncing board, and that's what so far has kept me sane and touchwood in touch with the reality check.
Everyone here has a bouncing board. Niharika, what about you? Do you have like a close set of people? You share your content with them before posting? Does that ever happen?
Yeah. Sometimes when I'm really unsure of like what I'm saying, because I think I can be delusional sometimes in the same thing I'm doing. So I've scrapped so many videos, and I was about to scrap most videos, and they say, don't do it, this will work, and it actually ends up working. So my family, my friends, my manager, my team, they're very involved. And my mom especially tells me very honestly, sometimes I send it to her and she's like, what is this? And I'm like, a new video? What do you mean? And she's like, yeah, don't upload that. And I'm like, okay, well, sure.
And my agency is also part of that group, by the way. So professional, personal, सारे लोग हैं वहाँ.
सब लोग हैं. And Yashraj, what about you? Like, do you share music with? They say like ये क्या lyrics हैं? Like, do they ever do that? Your parents at least.
नहीं, usually मतलब content के उसमें क्या होता है मेरे साथ कि अगर मुझे पता है कि ये चलना ही है, there is no मतलब उसमें doubt ही नहीं है तो मैं डाल ही देता हूँ सीधा. There is no bouncing board. लेकिन जब थोड़ा नहीं बना है अच्छा ना, तब bouncing board की ज़रूरत पड़ती है. कोई validation दे दे कि यार अच्छा बना है, डाल दे. तो जब नहीं बना है अच्छा तो मुझे if I'm asking that to too many people कि यार ये कैसा लग रहा है, डाल दूँ क्या, that means मुझे अंदर से पता चल जाता है कि नहीं बना है मतलब अच्छा. अगर अच्छा बना है तो वो बाहर जा चुका होता अब तक.
So ऐसे एक unreleased album आएगा क्या जिसके अंदर Elvish भाई भी होंगे?
नहीं यार, the same thing ना, like वो अभी गया. It's gone. Like I should have, like आज तक मेरा अभी तक there should have been a track about Bhupender Jogi also. लेकिन अभी नहीं, अभी वो.
Timing is everything.
Timing is the thing, I think. Yes.
So just an estimate. How long does the curve last? कि मतलब इतने दिन time में post कर दो.
I think अभी पहले तो 1 month था, अभी 2 weeks, 3 weeks हो गया अभी. I think it depends on the meme also, but one week, 2 weeks हो गया खत्म. 2 weeks के बाद it's, I don't know.
What I think when it's almost like halfway through being done, you do a thing
and then
with
propagates.
it, and then it like goes on for 2 more weeks. So just पहले ही कर दे यार ताकि जल्दी खत्म हो जाए. Like just.
Because you were talking about having a close set of people. Karan, too many people who understand films in the family, is there too much feedback? Or is there a thing called too much feedback?
I mean, like someone said, unless you're if you're unsure, then you're unsure. If you're sure, then you're sure. You know, I mean, feedback is now with OTT. There's a lot of feedback coming from there also when you're writing, because I guess people have to justify their positions. But yeah, I think when you're done with something, when you are done, when you're completed and said, I think I'm done. Now I don't know whether this is working or no. For me it's working, but I don't know what it is. I don't know what reaction. Maybe I have lost perspective. I've been sitting on an edit for 2 months, 3 months. I don't know what else is going on. I think that's a part where you can bring in somebody you trust and say, what do you think? And they'll say, this is garbage. This is, oh, it's great. Or, you know, if you just change that, this may happen. So definitely there are people around you, but it's what I call fresh perspective, you know, like versus feedback. So if you should feel like I've done everything I can with it right now.
Got it.
You know, otherwise it's confusing, you know, otherwise everyone has an opinion.
Yeah. But because all of you here are on social media, especially you're constantly creating content, there's constant feedback. So is there a term, I don't know if there's a term called feedback fatigue, but how do you deal with it, Dolly? Like you said DMs bahut aate hain and all. How does it influence your content creation? For the good and bad?
I think it used to influence me a lot, like maybe till like a year ago or something. But you know, I have just maybe at least reached a point where I feel like I want to make content that genuinely makes me happy. Because I think I was losing that. I was getting too swayed away by the trends, by what people were asking me to do. So I genuinely want to make content that makes me happy. I think that's one thing I want to be sure of. And definitely, of course, people suggest great ideas, but till the time it doesn't spark something in me, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to just participate for the sake of participation. So that's something I've made sure that I do. And of course, I do have a few friends that, you know, I bounce ideas off of. Okay. But in general, I think I've just started to, you know, put my forces around ideas which genuinely excite me.
And Yashraj, how many comments do you like get in a day? Like comments or DMs, like on an average, you have like a big following on Instagram, and how much do you read? 5%, 10%, like how much?
So after putting a video, uska frequency बढ़ जाता है. Suddenly many people are commenting, and उसमें the first 5 are always कि call me, I'm alone, move वाले होते हैं. Story. Some spam accounts, I don't know who's commenting it.
So you read those.
Yeah. Those are the ones we wait for.
Because those are so इतना fast करते हैं वो लोग. जाते ही 10 comment है कि I'm alone, yes, watch my story, and 500
call me. Make a song
so
of
are those positive comments or negative comments?
Those
very positive,
don't matter.
Extremely positive
like,
comment.
Water emoji, and I'm like, what do you want? Like, leave me alone. I'm quicker. I start like as soon as I upload, I'm like, I know they're gonna come. I'm ready to like block and report them. So I'm
Yeah.
on that shit like bam, bam, bam. Ha. One today.
Some comments are just irrelevant. कुछ भी होता है. Like अभी if I
Good afternoon, everybody.
good and they'll make a अभी for example if I've put a video with Virat, so they'll make a dot का Virat का face बनाएंगे और डाल देंगे उसमें. I'm like इसका क्या करूँ मैं अभी?
और वो इतना बड़ा होता है.
इतना बड़ा होता है.
Sorry, that's just my dad like posting WhatsApp messages.
But I haven't got my question. अभी जो comment की बात शुरू हुई है, मेरे को आंसर नहीं मिला उसका. क्या कोई ऐसा तरीका है कि उस comment section को थोड़ा control किया जाए? Because there are artists who are having nightmares. यार.
There is, you know, you mentioned this. I was sitting with somebody who works with Google, and they were saying that when they were designing social media, that there was the option that you could write something in a comment, but it wouldn't be posted until 24 hours. So you would say something which is
It'll get
call
scanned
me,
and only then it'll come.
ki call me, or you know I'm waiting for you, and you would say that, but it would only appear
If
the next day, and you had the option to decide once again, ki should I say this? That was you. So you would say call me. It would say okay, fine. In 24 hours it will be posted, and then at the 23rd hour it'll ask you, are you sure you want to say this? And it would say yes.
And they didn't go ahead with this option.
Because it would never create any traction, because no one would, you know. So, but so much of the instant reaction that you have, you know, which I'm sure a lot of people also regret.
But Boolani sir, reading those comments, I mean, sometimes I get shivers through my bones कि किसी के बारे में कुछ भी ऐसी चीज भलती लिख दी गई है that it is really disturbing. How do you control
You can
that?
moderate your comment section. If there are certain words that are being used to like, you know, abuses or something that's just out of line, there is a setting where you can put those words in that list.
But
And
I,
No, I'm not
done
talking about
that
myself.
initially, but then I thought they find a way. और उसमें भी they find a way कि कुछ spelling mistake करके they will put
हाँ,
it up.
but you
Because-
should be smarter. You
Wow.
should
So
know,
you have to
you
think
should
of
do all
abuses कि इसका गलत
variations of
spelling
it.
क्या हो सकता है जो इसको नहीं आएगा.
नहीं मैं तो यश भाई मैं अपनी बात तो कर नहीं रहा हूँ टचवुड अभी तक मैं ट्रोल हुआ नहीं हूँ दैट्स एन अचीवमेंट इन इटसेल्फ इन आवर
मैं आ रही
कंट्री
हूँ,
इन
मैं आ रही
2023
I'll troll you.
बट हैविंग सेड दैट मतलब जिनकी बात कर रहा हूँ मैं उनके कमेंट सेक्शन YouTube में Instagram में बहुत खतरनाक है. आई एम श्योर यू हैव सीन दैट.
I think
You
the
talk
only
about like
solution
big
is
stars.
Thanks.
They can no. I'm asking because you said you're talking about like
Yeah,
you know,
we would like to know about.
No,
No, yeah, I mean, I'm majorly talking about female actors, okay? उनके बारे में कुछ उनकी परफॉर्मेंस के बारे में और you know something not appropriate वो बात कर रहा हूँ मैं. I'm not talking about illnesses at all.
But the internet is like water, dude. One day they're on your side, the other day they're not. So if they're not right now, it's a good thing because they'll come around. So it's fine. Like it's like a up and down thing. Also, like it's fine. The actresses will just like wipe their tears with all the money they're making.
नहीं बाबा नहीं. No, it's not. They are mentally disturbed with that.
Of course, dude. But you need to know opinions and facts are two different things, and that's why they chose to be a public figure, right? So you have to realize that everybody's opinion. You can't take everybody's opinion seriously. Somebody doesn't like your nose, you can't get a new nose the next day. You know. I mean, maybe you can, but I mean, but you need money for that, and they have the money
It
for that.
only-
Can this person commenting change his bondanos? No.
I get it.
You know,
Okay,
if he
makes
has
sense.
a bondano.
But if they are saying some, but for me it happened initially बहुत हो रहा था. तो मैंने क्या करा कि लोगों ने बोला कि ऐसे कुछ भी बोलते रहते हैं. अगर वो बोलेगा कि तू कुछ अपीयरेंस के बारे में किसने कुछ बोल दिया तो इग्नोर कर सकते हैं. But sometimes when they say something which is the truth, वो बहुत दिल को चुभ जाता. which you know as an artist, you know कि अपना
यार,
flaw
I
है
know
ये.
यार.
उसने पकड़ा अकेले ने. उसको लगता है कि अरे यार मत बोलना. मैं डीएम में जाके बोलता हूँ मेरे को समझा भाई मैं खुद काम कर रहा हूँ इस पे, तू प्लीज ऐसे कमेंट में मत बोलना ऐसा.
So there are like music critics who will say कि ये miss हो गया या ऐसे.
ये मिस हो गया, तेरा साउंड वैसा करता है, वो तू ऐसा करता है, तेरा ये मतलब द इंटरनल प्रोसेस दैट यू हैव इन योर माइंड, वो एक कोई होता है उसको पकड़ लेता है वो. लगता है कि यार तू बाहर मत बोल. मैं आके डीएम में आई डीएम दैट पर्सन कि यार तू ऐसे पब्लिक में मत बोल. मैं समझ रहा आई एम वर्किंग ऑन इट. 2 साल में ठीक हो जाऊँ.
I think one good way is to honestly, what I've realized is ignore. Not ignore, but like not see it. You really have to detach yourself. Therapy really helps, and just like, and sometimes if I'm in that mood, then I also reply back.
I
Then
also
say whatever
messaged
seems.
somebody by the way. वो मेरे पे कमेंट नहीं आया हुआ था, किसी और एक फ्रेंड के प्रोफाइल पे आया हुआ था.
What did you do?
I messaged that person. Listen, dude, this is unfair. I'm so sorry for having so much time, but I can
It's
take a bullet
fine.
in the
No,
chest
but that's
in the
amazing.
middle of the night for a friend.
Participation
and it
for
is
each
wrong.
other
I
is so
messaged that
important,
person.
yeah.
Listen, this language is incorrect, and your facts are also incorrect. It'll be fair if you if you don't put these things out in public, and then that person deleted it. So yeah, I mean, sorry for having so much time.
Dude, like I've sobbed and all, and the comment would just be like, cringe, you know, and I'm crying.
You know,
That
that's
to a
so-
fellow artist, I know that
That's
person.
so
Yeah.
real. That's so real. I feel that outbursts are so natural to all of us. But you know, you've been doing this for many years now. But for young content creators with a small following, how do you find the zeal to do it again and again every day and not focus on the comment? Because initially when you're starting out, you really read the comments and you feel अच्छा ये अच्छा नहीं है. Like basically हम बहुत self censor करते हैं चीज़ों को when we start out, right?
I think you slowly find the strength.
Okay.
I started when I was 16, so I think in my formative years, it really affected me, and I had like insane mental health issues at the time, so I quit social media, and I was like, this is not for me, I can't put myself through this. And I took a break, and when the pandemic hit, I just had more time to be able to do something like this again, and I gave a shot. I gave it a shot, and I think I was in a better mindset and you know headspace because I grew up also in those years. So if somebody's starting out, it's okay. At least you were brave enough to post that first video,
Yeah.
and you're brave enough to keep going. So keep doing you, and it's okay if people are saying things. That means you're getting attention, and
Yeah.
that's all you need on the internet sometimes. But just make sure you're doing your best, bro. If people don't align with you, you're just not their cup of tea, and you can't be everybody's cup of tea, you know? And it's okay if everybody doesn't like you, because I'm sure you also don't like everybody. So it's fine. It's okay. You'll find your tribe, you'll find your community. Just stay put and do your thing till that happens to you. That's all.
No, that's a very good point to not pay attention, especially when you're starting out. Once you're successful, maybe there's good dope hidden in comments. But Yashraj, when that first song became a hit, Sada Kutta Tommy, that was the first big hit. No, it's Rasode Mein Kaun Tha. Uske pehle, how many tracks you had released?
उसके पहले in the same zone 6-7 डाले थे शायद कुछ.
Okay.
Yeah.
और कितना time लगा वो 6-7 tracks? I'm just trying to
Yeah.
get a sense कि time लगता है successful होने में, right?
Yeah, so और algorithm में fit होने के लिए भी time लगता है. तो
हाँ.
the thing is, I started my first video was कोई बाबा पे किया था मैंने कुछ उस पे किया था. Then राखी सावंत just keeps on giving content, तो एक उस पे किया था. एक was क्या करूँ मैं इतनी सुंदर हूँ. And the 3 videos before my video went viral, वो that did really well on my social media. So I started in 2019, 2020 में तो ये हो गया था viral. But 3 videos before that people had already started sharing it. वो algorithm में fit हो गया था मैं. So I read somewhere कि if you're seen by someone 3 times on the internet, the 4th time they will come on your profile and follow you. So you have to impress a new audience, new user 3 times. तो एक वीडियो अगर पसंद आ गया तो फॉलो नहीं करेगा, लाइक करके चला जाएगा. सेकंड वीडियो पसंद आया तो उसके फेमिलियरिटी होती है थोड़ी सी, तो वो रुकेगा, देखेगा, पसंद आया तो लाइक कर देगा. थर्ड अगर उसको अच्छा लग जाए तो उसको आप 2 बार इंप्रेस कर चुके हो, थर्ड अगर उसको अच्छा लग जाए ही विल कम टू योर प्रोफाइल एंड फॉलो यू. तो इट लिटरली हैपेंड दैट वे. द 3 videos before that did really well, and the 4th one just blew up.
Well, that's really amazing. Data is very important in content creation. As much as we see OTTs are tracking what Gen Z is watching in their, basically commissioning shows on that pattern. So Karan, are filmmakers actively using data that's available on the internet, understanding consumption patterns of millennials and Gen Z?
I hope not. I think first you write a story from what you experienced and what you want to say, and then you meet executives who tell you what it should be and what their information is. But it hasn't been a personal experience for me where I have followed that. There is a formula to make something work, especially if you're telling a story in a longer format. It should just connect. And if you connect with it, you're also an audience. So, and you're putting it out over there. Yeah, it does help to figure out, when I did television, it does help to figure out, okay, there is a certain audience that plugs into 7 p.m. There's a certain audience that plugs into 9 p.m. There are certain audience that like to watch stuff at 11 p.m.
Yeah.
So that is a professional decision there, and you have people that are very aware of this and how to program stuff. even with a film festival, you have a programmer that knows, okay, let's put this film at this time in the day, this one at this time in the day, because it attracts a particular kind of audience. So that information really helps in exhibition of your content, but it doesn't really help in creating your content, because that's finds it a little bit mechanical then.
Got it. So that's pretty much a different form of algorithm, is what?
Yeah, I mean, there was, I mean, right now, sequels are working in films. So I have been offered many sequels. By the time I make the sequel, something else will be working, and I'll have a film with a sequel, you know. So I think it's tricky to catch trends in film, because we start and there's a lot of time that's gone by. By the time we put it out, it's another trend, you know. So it's tough to.
Also, with due respect to what Karan sir has said about, you know, the research and the data, and us tarah se nahi chal sakte hai kuch वगैरह, but it really, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to slander your thought down, but it really depends on your upbringing and your belief system, you know. I mean, there can be an artist who thinks कि यार मेरे को इसमें conviction है और मैं ऐसे ही बनाऊंगा. Then there's a person who thinks कि यार ये numbers पहले correct करो. My wife is from ISB, मैं हमेशा मेरे दिमाग में ये चलता है इसका revenue generation क्या है. So I mean, you know, हर एक का अपना तरीका है काम करने का, and it will work for each one of them if they believe in that and if they have that conviction on कि यार numbers को छोड़ो, fuck that, इसका कोई लेना देना नहीं है, data का कोई लेना देना नहीं है, मैं अपनी film बनाऊंगा और यही बनाऊंगा. उसकी film भी काम करेगी. जो person who is thinking that okay यार listen, आज की date में audience को ये चाहिए and I want to make this film. I read a very beautiful article. This is not from a filmmaker's perspective. It was about Aish Bhaiya, where they were saying, yeah, an actor who does, you know, an Article 15 or an Andhadhun is forced to do a Dream Girl 2 to prove the numbers. So at that very point of time, he was thinking about the numbers. So he did that film. अगर वो otherwise सिर्फ उस पे जाएंगे अपने गाटिया कन्विक्शन पे जाएंगे तो उनका मन तो अंधाधुन करने का ही करेगा. But इस समय जो युग चल रहा है 2023 में of audience watching films is of watching Dream Girl 2, जैसे सर ने बोला ट्रेंड चल रहा है यार उसका sequels का, तो he wanted to do that, he did that. So हर एक के अपने तरीके और अपने convictions हैं.
Yeah, so I mean, intuition works in all forms of content creation.
Absolutely.
You feel it'll work and it does work.
Yeah, जो astrology में believe करता है उसका काम भी अच्छा चल रहा है, जो नहीं believe करता है उसका काम भी अच्छा चल रहा है. So it's your belief system.
Absolutely. So Niharika, we were speaking about algorithm briefly. I mean, it's used too often. How would a creator describe algorithm? What is it, and how does it affect your mental peace?
I don't even know, man. It changes every 2 days. So I just think at this point, I'm not even keeping track. You really can't. You think you figured it out. You think you've cracked it. And the next day, Meta will be like, update 2.0. And it's like, it's gone. So I think just being consistent with what you do and having just like a clarity of mind of what you're doing is the best way through it. Figuring out this algorithm is like this whole hacking thing where you're trying to figure out things so you can make things to satisfy that. It's just not going to work because your audience is not stupid. They'll know what you're trying to do. So I just think you just have to. It's really not that serious. I think we make social media such a big thing. Just have fun with it. Do what you have to do. The algorithm will be on your side if you're on its side. Just be consistent, I guess. And all the cliche advice every content creator gives you, it's because that's the only thing we know. But truly, we also don't know what we're doing. We're just making stuff and people are watching it. Y'all also make stuff, they'll watch it. You'll find someone to watch everything. There are so many people in the world. It's crazy.
Yeah, so every platform has a different algorithm. Like you said, it's very hard to get hold of algorithm. How hard it is to get hold of platforms? Like, is it possible for a creator to find success on all platforms? YouTube pe bhi views aa rahe hain, Instagram pe bhi views aa rahe hain. What about, yeah, I'll start with Niharika. Yeah.
I think it depends, no? Like, for example, in Ashish Chanchlani, his audience is so massive on YouTube that it trickles down to Instagram in any form, and he has 30 million on YouTube and 10-20 million on Instagram. So I think it depends on the scale also, but not necessarily. Not everybody can do long format content. It's very hard to keep an audience's attention for.
So do you keep a platform in mind, Niharika, when you're creating content? Is it Instagram mostly?
I upload on YouTube Shorts also. It's never the platform. It's just about the kind of. I'm just
The
making
duration.
short format
Got
content
it.
now because I spent too much of my teenage years making long format content, and I just don't want to go back to that. It's too much effort for low return at that time.
You find this easy, the short format?
Not at all, but it's just different, and I think it's
Good different
it's
or
more-
bad different?
Means you
But
tell,
easier than the YouTube thing, no?
Yeah, easier than the YouTube.
YouTube
thing.
requires
YouTube,
production.
Oh my God, it
yeah.
took me 12, 14 hours, and I would just sit there in my room after college, just making those videos. I'm the light guy, I'm the camera guy, I'm the sound
proper
guy.
setup.
Oh my God! And in my bedroom, trying to make it look like different setups in my parents' house as a 16-year-old, and I'm asking everybody to keep quiet because, I need, silence on set. And I don't need anybody in my eye line, so I'm always like, get out of my room. But I'm joking, the eye line thing is a joke. So yeah, I just think it depends, and I just don't want to go back to long format content. It's too hectic. Having said that, I love YouTube, and I will be back on YouTube. If any YouTube folks are listening,
Camera, either camera में देख के बोलो
yeah,
YouTube वाला.
yeah. So love YouTube, long format content. Jai ho.
I think they're shooting it in horizontal.
Are they?
So the
Love
YouTube-
you.
yeah.
Love you
So-
more than the vertical guy. There is no vertical guy more than you. Yeah.
So, Yashraj, what about you? Is it possible to ace one platform, like all the platforms together, or creators usually keep one platform in mind कि यहाँ तो views आ जाने चाहिए?
For some people, they do everything, yeah, and they do it so well. There are some people like Prajakta Kuri, she has aced Instagram. She will dance, she will do comedy, drama, acting भी कर रही है, anchoring, जो बोलोगे सब करती है वो. So she and for example Tanmay Bhatt, for that matter. YouTube, like he has come back and he started from zero.
He's
and he's ruling it right
uncancelable.
now.
Yeah.
He does content like no one does.
Yeah.
So it is possible, like if you ask Tanmay Bhatt to ace Instagram now, he'll start today. Within 1 year, he'll be on the top. Like he is that good. वो content का एक basic structure समझते हैं, वो algorithm को समझते हैं. Algorithm definitely change होता रहता है, but एक मोटा structure पता होता है कि यार ये चाहिए, ये करेंगे तो इससे ये हो जाएगा, ये करेंगे तो ये हो जाएगा. He's so smart. He has now he's reacting to memes. Now before,
For years now, actually.
For years now.
Yeah, for years now, and that's become a, yeah.
Memes are going to be the hero of this era. He knew that 2 years ago. कि अभी meme पे ही चलेगा. And he's reacting to memes. तो ये this vision और ये एक overall content के बारे में समझ होना, which I think is really interesting. And some people have it, and some people don't.
So
I'm one of those.
So you actually, that's a very good point. That what Tanmay is doing is very easy production. You get 5 people, 5 funny people, and there's not much to invest in production and time in terms of, I mean, due credit, but
फिरना नहीं
Niharika, yeah,
चाहिए.
your craft was very difficult because you were making sketches. Your craft is very difficult because you are, you're making music. So feasibility is very important for the long run, right? कि
Yeah,
easy
and
content.
He figured that out in lockdown.
Yeah.
कि 5 लोग क्या कर सकते हैं जो घर पे बैठ के content बन सकता है, and he does it so well.
Yeah.
He's basically a funny person. तो अगर वो कुछ भी करेंगे तो it just appears in his
But
video.
Tanmay also had his phase with AIB, where
Absolutely.
the setups were so much more elaborate,
Absolutely.
and they were kind of the pioneers of being a creator in our country.
Yeah.
And I think he's gone through he's written filmfare scripts. He's done all of that. I don't think there's a thing that Tanmay hasn't done.
Yeah.
Now he's chilling because he's like, I just want to make money. That's
And now
his
he's
life.
also an entrepreneur.
Yeah. He does
so-
like 20 things in a day. It's
So I
crazy.
think that's the beauty of the word creator. You can retrofit things into the term. Dolly, how do you like to discuss about algorithm, or you don't care about it?
No, I mean, it is important. If
Yeah.
you look at it from business perspective, then you need to thoda bahut at least try to understand it, gauge it, and then work on it. But from what I have understood, is just it needs to be fed. You just need to be consistent. The more you post, the more chances there will
Got
be
it.
of it going viral or just doing well. That's all I have understood from it, because you can't tap into what's happening, what's not. But more or less, it's about consistency, which actually is so hard to do. Consistency is the hardest thing. Because you have multiple things going on. Even to make a piece of content which you'll be happy with, it'll take you few days. With his music, I'm sure it takes him many, many days. So consistent hona in itself, it just becomes so difficult that part of the algorithm, if you're trying to please and you're like, oh God, like how do I keep up? I make 3 videos in one go. I'm like, okay, I'm already almost there, you know, I'm reaching there. But then by the 4th video, I'm already busy with something else. So 4th video takes like 10 days to come. So then you never know. You lose it again.
Also, you keep a cap कि यार ये ट्रेंड आ रहा है, इसमें मुझे पता है इसमें व्यूज आने, ये पक्का 5 मिलियन का वीडियो अगर मैं बना दूं, लेकिन नहीं करूंगा मैं, ये मुझे नहीं करना है.
Why?
कभी कभी लगता है
नहीं,
टाइम नहीं, ये मेरे ओवरऑल एक मेजर प्रोफाइल होता है, इसमें मुझे ये चीज मेरे प्रोफाइल में नहीं दिखनी चाहिए.
अच्छा.
तो मुझे पता है इस पे आएगा व्यूज, लेकिन आई एज एन आर्टिस्ट आई टेक दैट कॉल कि ये मैं नहीं, आई डोंट वांट टू बी
associated with that.
Like your own brand has to kind of, you know, be able to take that as a part of it. Otherwise, it'll be just you're doing random 100 things and people can't recognize that, oh, this is a Dolly thing, oh, this is a Yash thing, this is a Niharika thing.
Yeah, like Niharika said that they expect a joke from her. So there has to be a rhythm to your content that people know that Dolly will have a sketch, Yashraj will have a meme/music and I love your nails, by the way. Every time I mean, this is an insight as a viewer, that every time I'm watching Niharika's content, I'm like, what is she going to do with her nails? Because they're always there in the middle of the screen. So I feel that I think every viewer has a quirk when, you know, has something to look forward to. So what is the equivalent of algorithm in movies? Like they're talking about algorithm, it's ever changing.
Funnily enough, I mean, now when people, even the general audience, when they talk about, "Arey, film bahut achhi hai, 100 crore kar gayi." So, you know, that's a little disturbing, I'm sure, even for Sir as a filmmaker and for me as an actor. This cannot be the parameter to decide कि ये film अच्छी है कि नहीं है. But अब हम इस era में हैं जहाँ पर इस तरीके से ही लोग समझ रहे हैं किसी चीज़ की success को या failure को. So we have to kind of, you know, at the end of the day, it's audience who makes or breaks the artist or the films or the entire fraternity. So we have to respect that, and touch wood, I mean, धीरे धीरे अच्छा सिनेमा भी आ रहा है. So touch wood, I mean, we are going maybe in the right direction.
So yeah, I mean, that's great. The benchmarks of success are changing. It's no more the 1 million and it's no more 100 crores. Thank you so much. I think all of us there was so much to learn from all of you. We'll open the forum for questions. If there are any questions, can we pass on the mic for questions? Or we can ask questions like that, right? We don't need a mic. Yeah.
Firstly, my question is to the creators here. Like you said that, first of all, Elvish wala track, if you could upload at some point in time somewhere.
I'll try.
You know, we're looking, yeah. So like, is it overwhelming, like for all creators, is it overwhelming, like to create that short form content like continuously and latch on to every kind of trend all the time? And do you also think like in the long run, like I will have to move from IG to like long form? ऐसा सोचते हैं या फिर it's like नहीं, Instagram ही like करना है? So
यार जब तक इस पे चल रहा है तो यही करना है. जब तक ये इस पे चलना बंद हो जाएगा तो आई थिंक दूसरे फॉर्मेट पे जाएंगे. लेकिन कंसिस्टेंटली उसने बोला जैसे कि बहुत मुश्किल है भाई, मतलब मैं नहीं कर सकता कंसिस्टेंटली अच्छा वीडियोस बनाते रहना बहुत मुश्किल काम है. तो वो मेरे को थोड़ा आई हैव टू फिगर दैट आउट. बट आई थिंक अदर क्रिएटर्स सबका यही है.
आई एम नॉट दैट कंसिस्टेंट. आई थिंक Dolly is the most consistent out of all of us. But I think if you make content for one platform, every platform you can just recycle in some way, dude. You just have to be smart about how you package your content for different platforms. I don't think it's that hectic. But if you want to like set yourself apart कि YouTube पे मैं vlogs बनाऊँगा, Instagram पे मैं comedy करूँगा, then it'll be, you know, a mismatch. But otherwise you can just like recycle, package. That's what most creators do. And you see numbers just growing everywhere. That's all. You just make one thing, put it everywhere.
Also, someone told me कि if they like you as a person ना, तो कोई भी platform हो they'll come. Zakir Khan is a very good example. वो अभी कल threads पे भी आना शुरू हो जाएंगे ना, that people will follow there. क्योंकि जो बंदा पसंद आ गया वो कोई भी platform पे पसंद करेंगे उसको.
We'll take 2 more questions. Yeah, please go ahead.
I just want to ask a question from Amar that how do you think creating content help you grow as an actor?
Yeah, it's really important to have a creative day of brainstorming your head. वो मुझे लगता है कई बार सिर्फ ऑडिशन से नहीं आ सकता है. Auditions are a very different process of, you know, bringing out the creativity, but sitting down and thinking of मैं आज ये create करता हूँ will bring out your creativity in a better way, I would like to believe. And कई लोगों को लगता है कि ऐसा भी एक और डिबेट चल रहा है कि यार जो क्रिएटर्स हैं उनको एक्टर्स की जगह कास्ट कर लिया जाता है. टचवुड मेरी स्पेस में ऐसा नहीं होता, बट एक्टर्स वर स्टार्टिंग आउट, उनके साथ ऐसा होता है. वो हर एक का अब अगर वो आप उस चैलेंज को भी एक्सेप्ट करके आप ये भी ट्राई करो, और आई मीन यू कैन रियली काइंड ऑफ यू नो एज एन एक्टर वर्क हार्डर एंड ट्राई टू डू दिस एज वेल इन दैट केस. हैविंग सेड दैट, माई आंसर टू योर क्वेश्चन इज कि थोड़ा सा क्रिएटिव ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग अच्छी रहती है पूरे दिन में.
कई बार ऐसा नहीं लगता कि कंटेंट क्रिएट करने के चक्कर में हम एक्टिंग की चीज़ों को
यार यू नीड टू देन टेक अ कॉल ऑन द फैक्ट दैट कि कौन सी जर्नी पकड़नी है यार. ले दे के दोनों क्रिएटिव काम है, एंड ले दे के दोनों ही यू नो इक्वली यू नो वेल पेड प्रोफेशंस हैं. आई मीन सो या आई मीन आपको कॉल लेनी है दैट व्हाट यू वांट टू बी एट द एंड ऑफ द डे. या चीयर्स बेटर.
Hi, so I have a question to three of you actually. So firstly to Niharika, I'm here for you. I'm a great fan of yours.
Thank you.
To be very true, I traveled around 10 kilometers to...
Ten is
Thank you
not
so
much.
much. Oh my God, it's okay. Keep quiet. Yeah.
No, I became fan of you after seeing Rocking Star Yash content.
Thank you.
Along with him. So I'm basically from Bangalore.
Oh, lovely.
So-
Me too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my question to you is, I'm a content creator. I'm a celebrity YouTuber. I've done more than 1,600 celebrity interviews till date. All noun faces. But I'm unknown to unknown, and I'm noun to noun. So I'm looking, how can I make myself noun to unknown?
Okay.
So, for that I chose a unique style of doing it, creating a channel called Virgin Vlogs, where I create content with foreigners who travel to India and teach them the language of India and spread the culture of India. This is a very unique concept, probably no one has tried it. I teach them Kannada, I teach them Hindi, and they repeat it. And they teach me Russian, and I repeat it.
Okay.
Create a content out of that. And my content is done. Means I have more than 250 videos right now. But I need to do the post-production of it, which is pending. So how could I go about it?
See, this is a consultation. I charge for this. Okay, I feel like this is a full consult. So you haven't released anything.
Nothing.
Then put no, just upload. That's all you have to do. What are you
We
talking
just spoke-
about?
Yeah, I think we just spoke about topic.
Yeah, you just, there is no post-production. You edit that video, make it like, what do you, editing. YouTube it. That's how we all learnt. Like you just YouTube it. And you have like a laptop. You have a phone. You have iMovie on that. Prequel you download. It's free on the App Store. Start editing there. That's all. And how to edit, that's how I'll teach you here. Like you, you look, yeah.
No, my simple point is,
Yeah.
whenever I talk to a foreigner, want to create a vibe with them, it will at least take me 20 minutes. Right?
Yeah.
So in that, probably you need to take 30 seconds, which is the written.
Take the most exciting moments of it, make it exciting, whatever you would want to watch. Like if they've said a word, just let that foreigner be the first 3 seconds of the thing where she's saying a cuss word in Hindi or something, immediate views. Like just be smart about it, be clickbaity in the beginning, I guess. I think that's what you're asking me, how to package it, right? You'll find your own way to do it. Like I'm only going by the 2-liner pitch that you gave me, so I'm not really sure, but bro, it's not that serious, just upload madbudi, agalla.
Yeah, so
Sumne.
the whole point is that don't be like don't self. Yeah, not too much
Yeah,
judgment.
you're
Just
striking
upload.
yourself out.
Yeah, so I think that's the takeaway for the forum today.
Supposed to do it for the audience or for yourself? Any content you answer
For
to.
yourself.
For yourself.
So thank you so much, everyone.